Good morning and welcome to this week's Wednesday with Orbis. I'm here at the Altus High School outside the athletic office where Athletic Director Randall Kaufman is and his secretary Sheena Hawley. It is in the main building of the high school. If you come in the main door of the high school, you come in on the far north end, or if you happen to have a key, you can come in the middle door, and the athletic office is right here on the way to the cafeteria. Again, I'm here in Randall Kaufman, our athletic director's office. Thank you, Randall, for having me this morning. What I'd like to talk about is let our faculty and staff know a little bit about what you do as athletic director. But more importantly, today, I'd like to talk about the budget, kind of how you receive your funds, how we spend those funds with next week. A week from Friday being our first home game. It's here. It's homecoming. It's a busy, busy week next week at Altus High School for all the homecoming events. And then who do we play on Friday night?
Play Oak City this Friday night, and then we'll play Southeast for homecoming.
Great. So that's our first home game. Tell us how faculty and staff can get in first, then we'll go from there.
Well, one change that the district's made this year is that we've put together the passes, our faculty ID passes. That will allow the faculty to get into any of our sporting events, and it will allow them to bring one guest with them. This kind of frees up the responsibility of the gatekeepers so that they can move people through the line a little bit faster and let the faculty go through. And it identifies our faculty members as people that are supposed to be here on campus or be at the other campuses, so that if there were an incident of some kind, they could identify themselves that they were, faculty members and that they were supposed to be there and had a job to do. As far as we're super excited. A couple of things going on here at the high school. Just real briefly before I talk about the budget, one thing is we had our materials delivered today for the new gym floor, which is, should be done the last week of October, we're hoping.
Great.
And everybody's looking forward to that, the completion of that, and I know the basketball teams are. We'd really like the basketball or the volleyball team to have an opportunity to play this year, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen on that floor. Right. But the future looks bright after last night having our opening night with volleyball. We had a lot of public support. We had a lot of faculty support and a tremendous amount of excitement throughout the district and online with OSN. Absolutely. So I wanted to make sure that we at least brought that up because yes, it was a neat night to be there for the inaugural home match for our volleyball team.
If you didn't have a chance to be there, you can go back to OSN. You can log in at Altus Public Schools and watch that event if you'd like to. I was able to be there. Many of you were there. Very excited to see so many faculty and staff supporting our students, our girls, on Monday night. We only have one more home volleyball match, and that's this coming Monday night. So it will be at Altus Junior High if you would like to go see that. If not, again, you can log in at OSN and watch it online. So we always hear about how much money it takes to run different things. Just so the faculty and staff know, our coaches are all paid out of general budget. So the district pays for all coaching salaries. And so tell us where the ticket sales go. We sell tickets to all types of events. Where does that money go?
Well, at our high school football games, it's a $5 entry fee for those that don't have passes. We accept all the passes, such as the Oklahoma or the OSSAA passes, the Oklahoma Coaches Association passes. We accept our local ID badges as well. But those that pay, that money, that $5 that comes in, will go to basically support student athletes. And the way that it supports student athletes is with activity funds. They're a little bit easier to manage from the standpoint of we can spend those on many different items. We're not limited because of general fund. You mentioned the coaches' salaries comes out of general fund. There's a couple of other things that we use general fund for out of this office, one of which is in the budget that you allow me to have from the Board of Education, is that we buy uniforms and equipment and things of that nature that are basically items that are going to be around for a long time.
Right.
And so those items can be bought out of general fund. But everything else basically is taken care of. This is the meals that your athletes eat on the road when we feed them at restaurants, to make sure that they get fed while they're out on the highway or on the road. And the meals that those kids, we buy lots of our coaches' clothes come out of that. If they have to have special shoes for a particular court or an event that they have to do, we get that. All of our student athlete, as far as supporting any of the athletic events in, how do I want to say this, entry fees to all these different events that the kids
So
go
the
to.
golf tournaments,
Baseball
baseball,
tournaments,
softball.
all of those things that charge entry fees come out of our activity fund.
Right.
So basically, we get three avenues of money in our activity fund. One of which is tickets. So we sell tickets at the gate. We also sell our season tickets. We'd encourage all of our supporters out here in the Bulldog Nation to buy season tickets. They're a little more expensive, but you get to sit in that choice area there, that reserve area, and like I said, all of that money goes back to the student athlete
Yes.
because it's somehow going to find its way to support each individual athlete in every sport that they're involved in. The other two aspects are the concessions, and so we have concessions that we sell. Our athletic department has one of the concession stands at the football game, and then we manage most of the concessions here at the high school level, but we allow the junior high to have concessions down there that they take care of, and it helps to help support their athletics as well. But concessions is the second way that we basically fund our activity fund. And then the last one, which is it's a little tougher, that is fundraising, where you have to just go out and do fundraising and manage funds for your particular group or whatnot. And those funds, if they're not in a particular sport or booster group, then those funds would come back to our district athletic office, and we would manage those. But that's like if we do T-shirt sales for playoff games or things of that nature, that money would just come back into our general activity area so that we can spend it on any of the sports.
Right. Obviously, football is king in Altus, but all of our athletics are just as important as any of the others. Football does have a larger crowd than some of our other events, so obviously they bring in more money than the other sports. How do you disperse that? How do you decide how to disperse that money? I do know that those ticket sales help fund the rest of the season for all the athletics.
Yes, and what many of the public supporters might not know is that football does fund the majority of all the other sporting events. Many of the sporting events that we deal with break even. In other words, the line is really tight whenever you have to hire officials, and basically you're outfitting your kids and those things to get them ready for that game or that match, and the paying of the officials is a big cost.
Right.
And so up until this year, we're kind of trying to use a new system through Arbiter Pay, and we're working on that, and we're going to manage our funds a little bit differently for our official pay, but we are still very reliant on ticket sales, concessions, and all that to support our student athletes. And as the OSSA would say, you don't have a sport unless you have a kid or an athlete, a coach, and a referee.
Right.
And so therefore, the difficulty becomes if any one of those three are left out, it's very difficult to manage that sport.
Right. I think we're very lucky in Altus. I'm very proud of the coaching staff that you put together. We have a great coaching staff that loves kids and works hard, wants our kids to do the very best they can do. It's obvious in every sport that we have. So far, we've had softball and volleyball, and the football's all been going well. Very thankful for that. I just kind of wanted the public to know that their money, when they give it for ticket sales or concession stand, all of that money goes back to the kids.
Yes.
We use general fund to pay for the salaries of the coaches and that type of thing. So it is a great opportunity for Bulldog Nation to give back to our kids so that we can continue to add the sports. That was thankful to Coach Kaufman last year handling his budget so well and continuing to do it this year. We're able to add some sports. Tell us some of the sports that we've added.
Well, right off the bat, we've added 5th and 6th grade basketball, which is underway right now.
Absolutely.
They've already had some scrimmages and things going on, and they will manage most of their season late September into October. They already have a full schedule slated to play, and we'll be getting those schedules out pretty soon. The other thing is we're very excited about was volleyball, and we're bringing volleyball in this year, and there's, as we've seen in the community, tremendous amount of support. But we're looking forward to junior high soccer and introducing junior high soccer and try to give our kids a little bit more fundamentally sound junior high years so that whenever they come to the high school to play soccer, they're a little bit better equipped to deal with the competition that we have to play with in the area around us.
Right.
And there's other sports that we're looking at in the future of possibly adding at the 5th and 6th grade level or even at the junior high level. So we'd like to add volleyball next year at the junior high level to continue that that strain of athletes to come on through, and we can build this program and continue to make it very successful.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing with the faculty and staff today. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with athletics. Very thankful for the job that you do. Thanks again for joining us here. If you have any questions about athletics, Coach Kaufman is here at the high school, or if you want to buy any season tickets, I'm sure you have a few tickets
We got a
left
few
for
tickets left.
football. But always, as much as possible, I'd love for you to get out and support our kids. They love to see their teachers there. So I hope you have a great week this week. And as always, may God continue to bless Altus Public Schools.